Hey, welcome everybody to another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
I am Matt Nost, and we're excited to be here to do another week of Topic Thunder. This is a show that's basically it is for our patrons. They send in questions, topics, whatever they'd like us to talk about, and we don't know what they are before we get them, so it's a surprise to us as much as it is you. And I believe it's your turn to start this time.
Okay. All right. Let me get on it here. Let's see. I think we'll start with Robert Carney. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Bobby Carney? Much love to him. Hey, guys, as you know, Major League Baseball is back in action this spring. With it have come some of the rule changes they implemented during the shortened COVID season of 2020. The most notable is a runner on second base at the start of every extra inning to help speed up games that go into extra innings. Wow, I did not know that was happening. A runner on second base at the start of every extra inning to help speed up. So you already get a man on base.
Yeah.
Wow. This is like, I guess, having the overtime in college football where you're on the 25-yard line. I feel like the rule change has helped give MLB an excitement factor needed for extra innings, similar to college football's overtime rules. Now they are toying with more rule changes in the minors this year, like larger bases to make stealing easier, pickoff to first base limits, and limiting infield shifts to help speed up the game. My question to you is, what would you like to see the MLB do to help bring new eyes to the game? I know both of you guys have openly discussed how you don't watch the sport that much, so what would be some things to help interest you to come back to the sport again or visit it for the first time? Oh, all right, Matt Nost, what do you got? What would bring you back to watching baseball? It's a legitimate question.
It is. Well, a salary cap.
Oh, okay.
Even if it's a soft cap like the NBA, something to where it levels the playing field and 10 to 12 teams aren't basically glorified farm systems for 10 to teams that can afford to spend whatever they want to.
Right.
Because if you're not a fan of one of those large market teams, then it's just the system of power. Now, it has turned out that a bunch of quote unquote small market teams have won the championship, like the Royals, or somehow the Giants are a small market team, even though there's so much concentrated wealth in that area.
In San Francisco, yeah.
Yeah. But there have been smaller market teams that won. Now it looks like the Dodgers are going to reign this year, and they got a chance to do this for a little while. And it was the Yankees. Maybe.
They've lost 10 out of the last 15, Matt. They seem to be in trouble right now.
Well, that one against Houston, I think, has an asterisk.
True.
Cheating on that level is a bit much. Although there's a pitcher. I can't remember who it was because I don't follow. I just saw this video discussing. So he was open about the fact that guys are doctoring balls and have been for years. So it eventually went, oh yeah, and went out. And for one inning, the first time I think it was, he doctored balls and suddenly it's like he was unhittable. And then he went back to not doing it to show people this is what everybody's doing.
Wow.
And there was no crackdown. So the next season he said, fuck you guys, and did it too. And he got a huge contract. And he's one of the best pitchers in the league. I can't remember his name because I don't watch the game anymore, but I watched the video. Wow. And then YouTube sent me down a K-hole of, I watched a Dodgers pitcher give a clinic on how he throws a curveball. It was fascinating.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like all these little technical things. Anyway, but hard cap and speed up the game.
Yeah.
Like I like the runner on second because it it adds more tension and the potential to score makes it more fun. But that shot clock they put on pitchers and batters doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So if there was a penalty, if you go over that, I don't know if there is or is not, but just speed up the fucking game, man, because it's a commitment of you need to block out minimum 3.5 hours for this game.
Well, I think at the end of the day, what are you going to do, right? Like baseball has always been a long game, right? I mean, I think it's, it's increased in the time because also I think you could limit pitcher changes. In the playoffs, you could throw in 7 pitchers in a game 7. Nope, this is all you get. Your 2 pitchers, this is all you get. If they're going to get shellacked, and then let them get shellacked, that's fine. It's the game, you know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that adds time. I agree with the batter clock. Nobody did that worse than Nomar Garcia Parra. Literally looked like he was putting on a new uniform.
Changing his gloves over and like just strapping, retightening.
Between every swing. It was one of those ridiculous things I'd ever seen. Manny Ramirez did that as well. And that was just kind of mess with the pitcher's timing. So to me, I agree. I think the pitcher clocks and the batting clocks, I think batter clocks rather, that should be increased in terms of the frequency and lessened in terms of seconds. And it should cost you a strike every time you go past that time, or it might even cost you a man on base. That's a possibility too, where it's an out. It's an out, and you remove the guy, and you're back into this situation. So you're moving forward. But these are all cosmetic changes in the end. I think it's more a matter of bring me back exciting players, bro. I mean, I know they're great players in the MLB. Obviously, they're physical specimens. But there's no characters really like there were in the past. There's no personalities as strong as they were in the past. Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. These are boring stars. There's not like, where's Reggie? Where's Manny? Where's Noma? Where are these guys that like, even Derek Jeter had that kind of like charisma to him. Where are those stars? We don't have them anymore. And I think that's what kills it. Same thing with men's tennis. I think that's what kills men's tennis too, is we don't have like those interesting characters. Sports is sports, but it always has an entertainment factor. And I think this is where the NBA, NFL, this is why they're so miles ahead of everybody else, because both leagues have characters. Both leagues have people you can watch and you're interested in. There's jawing, there's trash talking, all this kind of stuff. That you don't see it that much in the MLB anymore. And it's because these guys are getting paid like millions and millions of dollars. It's just a different approach.
Every league is getting paid millions and millions of dollars.
$240 million for 12. I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, but if you
$500 million,
come on. Yeah, but you look at it versus like NBA contracts, guys are making, some guys are making $40 million a year. That's banana times.
Right. Well, yeah, but those are the veterans, right? Like Chris Paul and stuff like that. That's a different situation.
Yes. But I'm just saying, like the money is obscene, and I'm not against them making it. If that's what the sport pays, get every dollar you can because you're the ones that are generating this revenue.
Right.
But also,
isn't it also branding too, Matt? Isn't it like all these stars now have to like they get brand managers and they'll tell them how to act so they can sell shit off the field? Those guys pros didn't worry about that shit. Those guys didn't worry about that shit.
Well, I think in the case of MLB, they're looking at the NBA once again because the NBA has the most marketable stars. They're the only ones that have the athletes that crack the top 10 of Forbes' highest earning athletes because their contract deals pay them more than their salaries do. Yeah. So, I mean, they're making money on the level of your Neymars, your Ronaldos. Like those guys beat them, but at the same time, LeBron is pretty damn close. Yeah. And Steph Curry is actually pretty close. His Under Armour deal is sweet for him. But I mean, the NBA definitely goes out of its way to market their stars, and there's fewer guys. Plus, there's no helmets. There's nothing in the way of just like kind of getting to know these guys. They're just wearing a jersey type of thing. Whereas the NFL, they're behind so much padding and helmets that you don't have as much a connection. But they don't have the stars. Mike Trout could walk into a room right now and I'd be like, I don't know who that is. Right. Like I know what he looks like, but he also looks like basically how a toddler draws a man because he doesn't have many distinct facial features, but he's this big hulking mass. And by all accounts, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Yeah. But he's not, I don't know. He just looks like a dude. Yeah. Honestly, I've only seen him once. But the hype was so big, I was like, well, let's see how he is. And you're like, the hype is justified. This dude is so good.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like, the old man whining about this. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that character sells, personality sells. That's part of the entertainment factor here. And again, I'm not saying there aren't incredible athletes in MLB and the NHL, another league that suffers from really having nondescript stars that don't really move the needle that much or aren't that interesting. You've got to find those people, or those people got to come in with a certain kind of personality. I don't think you have it in the MLB like you did in days past. And I think that costs them, I think that is an issue,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, Bryce is, I guess, their closest because has kind of Bad Boy would probably be the good marketing spin on him.
Right.
I mean, he came in as the anointed next. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard not to have an ego. Yeah. The LeBrons are fewer than the guys that buy into the hype and don't put in the work and don't become all they are. No, I don't know how good Bryce. I know that contract he signed was just flat out ridiculous for the length of it.
Right.
And I don't know if he's living up to it or not. I don't have the slightest clue. But that's the other thing with baseball. The contracts, just by the time you get halfway through this, there's no way the value is going to translate. They're more than likely they're pretending. Now, Trout's got a chance to live up to the majority of his contract, but the Angels apparently didn't learn this lesson when they signed Pujols to that obscene contract.
That's true.
And by the last probably 60% of it, he was washed.
Yeah, he was washed. Yeah, you're right.
And he was still, I was glad the Cardinals, got rid of him with that, but they still were good and, whatever. Who cares? I stopped watching baseball not too long after that.
But look at here are the names, right? Fernando Tatis Jr. Yeah, this is he wears his hair. He's got different color hair, braids. Again, he's noticeable. Freddie Freeman, Jacob deGrom, Garrett Cole, Ronald Acuna Jr., Juan Soto, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. These are like the top 10 players as of a couple of weeks ago, according to ESPN.com. And this, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup to save my life. And they don't, and there's nothing really that interesting about them other than they're obviously exceptional at what they do, but they don't really kind of stand out or grab your attention that much. And I hear the purists complaining, but you got to be honest and tell truths here.
All I've heard, I kind of know what Mookie Betts looks like. I know what Trout looks like. The other names that you said, Coles and Tatis.
Yeah, Fernando Tatis,
or Tatis. I'm sure I've seen them.
Yeah,
couldn't tell you what they. By all accounts, Mookie Betts is a generational talent, and I couldn't.
Yes.
I believe I could tell you who he is in a lineup. That tells you where baseball is at on my radar. I'm pretty sure I could, but all I've heard about the dude is he's amazing, and the Sox were idiots for giving him up because he's so young and so talented that he's going to be justified in having this contract. And then it's he's good. That's all I've heard. Couldn't tell you what he looks like specifically. I'm pretty sure. I've seen his headshot type of thing on stats and whatnot, but haven't watched him in a game.
Yeah.
So
So there you go, Bobby. That's our thoughts. Overall. But I don't think. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Bud.
I was going to say I do like the runner on second thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they should institute that more. Try and pep up the game a little.
Although in extra innings, I've been to many extra inning games. It isn't lack of getting hits; it's lack of getting the person home. I've seen so many people stranded on bases in extra innings. But I get the logic. Obviously, Matt said, it puts the tension out there and puts the pressure on the pitcher and the hitters to get that person home or stop that person from coming home. I totally get it.
I think the first inning or two of extra innings has all the tension you need because you're on pins and needles. It's those poor people that have sat through 17 inning games. Oh my God, that's where it gets just excessive. It's can I outlast you? It's a duel at that point.
I remember when I used to go to the Dodgers games, we went to a game that was on a Monday night, 14 innings. By the time it was over, we had moved from the kind of upper area of the stadium all the way down to the bottom because everyone else had just kind of left because they had to go to work and shit.
Not surprised.
And we just kind of moved all the way down. We stayed till I think it was almost till midnight for that. It was great. It was a great experience because I'd never been to a long game like that. So, but it was but you have too much of those and they'll just get just too damn boring.
I don't know if I've seen an extra innings game. I'm sure I've seen a lot of baseball games. I've had to have at some point.
I'm sure, dude. Yeah.
I'm sure. I have seen a no-hitter.
Oh, I've never seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Wow.
I've seen a couple games get close and you're like, dude, he's got a no-no going.
Uh-huh.
But they all, they fizzled out, which it's impressive they made it that long type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, there you go, Bobby.
Yeah. Thank you, Bobby. All right. What's next, man?
Comes from Juan Reyes and says, well, I figured it was about damn time that I submit a Topic Thunder question.
Thank you.
There are several classics that I want to catch up on. I find it harder for me to be in the mood to turn something old on, though. Whoops. I usually don't regret it when I do. I saw Lifeboat recently and loved it. What are your guys' thoughts on how mood affects movie watching, though? I know Matt has mentioned that he wasn't in the right frame of mind for a movie, then he rewatched it later and changed his opinion. Thanks for taking my question, and bongo on. Juan Reyes, a.k.a. Jay Goldeneyes.
Oh, Jay Goldeneyes. Nice. I got to get back to him about the bongos. Damn, I keep forgetting. But now that I have his email, I think I'm going to email him. Matt. Yeah, I agree. It's very much in the mood, especially when you're revisiting old movies. Now, I have a proclivity to like old movies because like I grew up on those, watching those as a kid. Like parents plopped me in front of a television and said, learn English without an accent by watching these things. And so old movies were what I had on in the 70s and 80s to watch on those channels. So I just have a proclivity to watch those. I love TCM. I love catching up on old movies, things like that. So to me, it's just an instinct. I rarely have to be in the right mood for an old movie. I can just relax and enjoy it. But I understand when people have to be in the right mood. And certainly there have been more modern films, 70s, 90s stuff. Like I have to kind of be in the right frame of mind to really indulge in it and have a good time with it. So I totally get it. And it's important to be in the right frame of mind so you can savor it.
And I think subject matter influences that as well. Like being in the right frame of mind. Because there's certain movies that all you hear about them leading up to is it's this depressing or whatever, but it's really good.
Right.
And I enjoy those movies, but I have to be in the right mood going into it to fully embrace it. Otherwise, I'm not going to enjoy myself at all. It's like some arduous process to get through. Like say you weren't dialed into Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that movie, it was fine. It was, whatever. You dismissed it for things like, dude, if you're in the right mood, that movie is grossly affecting too. But there have been others. I haven't seen Black Swan yet.
Oh, really? Yeah. All right.
Well, I heard going into it what it was, and it was like, okay, it was during award season, and at that time I'm trying to see 2 to 3 every time I go to the cinema. So figuring out schedules to line up those movies, and then B, just like, well, what kind of combination can I get?
What are we talking about here?
Yeah. Like you try and pattern your day. I put if I'm doing 3, like the heaviest in the middle and then the softest at the end, just to kind of unwind from having sat through 7 hours of movies that day. So maybe Black Swan just didn't make, but I haven't seen it. And I'm just like, I need to kind of be in the right mood, I think, for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also find that ever since I started kind of sliding into this as a full-time gig, and then of course on my own channel, like there's this piece of me that hates being told when to watch a movie. Like you've got to watch it by this time so you can do the review and put it out and gets into. And so for me, I have a tendency to bristle at that. It's my own rebellious streak. And in the past, I've always kind of been like, yeah, I'm going to go see the movie. This is coming out. This is great. But now that there's a responsibility attached to it, I have sometimes this internal conflict between am I really going to see it because I want to see it, or am I going to see it or watching it because I'm being told I've got to do it by a certain time and there's a constraint on it. So I kind of hate that aspect of it all, to be honest with you, for me. And that's kind of like messed me up at times with going to see movies.
It's understandable.
And the pressure of like having to see all these Oscar nominated films, Matt, like, oh, you got to go see this stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I also
see that.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say that wouldn't bother me as much as going to see some schlock fest that you already have no interest in.
Yeah.
Because you have to do a review of it and be like, this is going to suck. And then you see it and you're like, it did suck. Why? I knew it was going to suck.
So those are the worst, man.
Yeah. Worst, dude. I just wasted 90 to 2 hours of my life knowing that this was going to be dog shit.
Yep.
So somebody else can watch this dog shit. That's the only, like the Oscar, it's like, you got to do it. I understand that. That makes sense. This is the best this field has to offer for the dramatic type of, there's still action and comedy and rom-coms and all that jazz that have their best. But I'm saying for the season, the drama, everything that is held up by the industry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the schlock fest. I got 20 minutes left on Mortal Kombat because I wanted to see. Everybody was like, "It's good. It's fine so far.
It's okay." That's what I said in my review. It's an okay film. It's not great.
Fine. It's not good. It's not terrible. So you're somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But it's also taken 4 settings, and I'm not done. I'm just watching like 15 minutes at a time, and then I get 15, 20, and I'm like, I'm good for now. I'll watch this whole fucking thing eventually. Yeah, I'm right to when everybody has gotten there at least one win.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like now they got to face off against Sub-Zero. Like, okay.
Sub-Zero.
Yeah, he's interesting.
Him and Scorpion are the 2 best parts of the movie. Oh, and Kano as well with his...
Dude, that Sonya chick.
Oh, yes, Sonya Blade.
Can't do the action and not that good an actress.
No, I know, dude. Because I think when you look at these movies, here's my honest opinion, and I just finished watching a movie earlier this afternoon, Matt, that is a schlock fest. I knew it was going to be a schlock fest. I still had to watch it. I'm not going to reveal it because it's the NDA stuff, but like when you look at a movie and you're watching it and you don't recognize 9/10 of the actors, especially if you're an avid movie watcher, you're in some trouble. Let me just put that out there. You're in some trouble. And I don't mean like Clint Eastwood where he casts these new actors in Gran Torino. I mean like this is a film that people have said they're rebooting this franchise. They're going to cast these people. They're going to get some names involved in it. And then when you start to watch the movie, you're like, crap, man. They totally copped out on the script, copped out on the look of it, copped out on the acting actors that are involved in it. If a majority of the actors have TV credits, this is a difficult situation when you're going into
well, you never know. Sometimes there's a bunch of there's so much television now that I don't know if that's the ding that it once was.
Okay.
Well, just in that you can maybe the show that they're on isn't your cup of tea type of thing, but they could be the best individual on that. Sure. And it's a show that you don't watch or never heard of and be like, this individual is great. We should just use them. Like you could. I like Jax. I thought that dude was good so far. I haven't finished it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I liked Kano. Yeah, I like Kano.
Fun. Josh Lawson was hilarious.
Yeah, he's good. He's got presence.
Yeah.
But I think everybody else on the good guy side, no.
And look, if you cast the dude from Supergirl, and you get him in the gym and you bulk him up, and you give him 1 to 2 scenes at the beginning of the movie, and then you sideline him for a majority of the movie until the end, I'd be super pissed. I'd be like, I spent all this time in the gym, and I have maybe 4 to 5 scenes in the movie. So I don't know. Just seems like why just find someone who's already built and just put him in the role, because the role was not that deep or that complex. And,
well, yeah, perhaps it was in the initial shoot, but then in the editing, they cut down because it's not even that long a film.
It's an hour and 50. It's long.
That's true.
It's kind of long. Yeah. But to be fair to Matt, the credits are like 10 to 15 minutes long.
Are they?
So, yeah.
Once again, I still got about 20 minutes left. I'll watch the end of it eventually.
Good luck, man. Good luck. But I like that Jay Goldeneyes watched Lifeboat. That's a Hitchcock film from like 1939, I think, or 40.
It's one of his first.
One of the early ones for sure. And just a bunch of people stuck on a lifeboat that's just been sunk by, I think, a Nazi sub or a German sub, and how they figure things out as they go along. So yeah, very interesting stuff, that movie. A lot of Hitchcock's early shit needs to be revisited and talked about because there's some good stuff there, man. All right, should we do one more before we wrap up?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, thanks, Jay Goldeneyes. Appreciate it. And I got to get your email. All right, this is from Bobo Robert Haley. He says, hello, Matt and John. After listening to the Matthew McConaughey episode, it got me thinking about the different ways you could slice an actor's career. I feel like it's come up before in lists where you can focus on top 10 performances or top 10 movies. For instance, Tropic Thunder is in no way a Tom Cruise movie, but his performance is stellar and could be considered one of the best of his career. Basically, I'm realizing I'm describing the Oscar category for Best Supporting Actor/Actress, So, what are some of your favorite performances by major actors in small roles? Sticking with McConaughey, I love his small part in Bernie. Stay safe and crossing fingers for a live Texas show in 2022. Robert Bob O'Haley. Matt, yeah, do you have any favorite performances of major actors in small roles?
Well, I mean, we just did Giamatti, and that describes
Sure.
a bunch of his career.
Yeah.
Like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Punch Drunk Love.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, certainly.
That scene towards the end, I mean, he's only in it sparingly, but when he gets in the confrontation with Adam Sandler and backs down, it's great. It makes the movie.
We just did it on the Cinephiles. I think it's only 3 scenes. It's the scene when he's first introduced and he's sending the guys out. Yeah. Then the scene on the phone where he's like, "No, fuck you, fuck you."
Yeah, that's the scene. I remember that scene, and then him showing up.
Yeah, and then him showing up. That's those seem to be the only 3 scenes that I remember that he's in. So yeah, that's a good call on that one. Let's see. George Clooney. Oh, Matt Damon. Matt Damon popping up in Eurotrip is hilarious.
Sure.
Matt Damon in Thor Ragnarok is hilarious.
That one's great. And what is it? Deadpool or Deadpool 2?
That's Pitt. That's Brad Pitt.
But Brad Pitt's Deadpool 2, that half second. That's awesome.
Right. Oh, is he in Deadpool, Matt Damon?
Which movie has 2 rednecks sitting on the back tailgate of a truck? And Matt Damon's one of them.
That's Deadpool 2. Yes, that's him and Alan Tudyk.
That's what I thought. Just in there for a nothing scene. And Tudyk bringing back his Dale versus evil. Yeah. Dale and Tucker versus evil character.
That's right. I forgot about that.
He's Damon, so but Pitts was such a great cameo.
That's how you do it, man.
That's how you do it. As a guy that doesn't want to be in superhero movies because his brand is not that. Yep. You know, he's suave Oscar, guy basically at this point. So to come in and do how many frames is that?
I don't know.
18 frames. It's not even a full second, or it's maybe. It's just ridiculous. Let's see what other great actors.
His appearance in 12 Years a Slave, completely the opposite. He should not be in that movie at all.
He's a producer of the movie.
Yeah, it takes you out of it completely.
He does. He does. But his accent is so weird.
Oh, it is weird. It's super weird.
But I can't remember. Is he supposed to be like a Mennonite? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, he's building that thing.
But he's got a specific like jaw strap beard type thing, and he's got a Dutch Pennsylvania accent or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damon at the end of Finding Forrester is pretty cool. It's a surprise. Oh, Interstellar, right? That's a small role Damon does in Interstellar. It's pretty creepy.
Well, I mean, McConaughey and Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
But 2 scenes.
Yeah. Well, the scene at the
the trading floor and then the scene at the restaurant. There might be another, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it's just like in and out. I'm good.
I was trying to think of female actresses that have done the occasional Meryl Streep was terrible in the Mary Poppins Returns cameo.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, Glenn Close popping up at Hook. That was funny. Seeing her as a pirate in Hook. I thought that was a cool little cameo.
Yeah, but I don't like Hook, so I didn't really care.
All right, fair.
I think Bob Hoskins is my favorite part of Hook.
Oh yeah.
But it's good, but you got Robin Williams, you got Dustin Hoffman, you got Julia Roberts, it's a stellar cast.
Yes, agreed.
By Spielberg. And it doesn't hit me the same way it does, a generation younger than I am.
What about Johnny Depp in 21 Jump Street when he gets shot in the neck at the end? To have him do that cameo? That was cool.
It's good, but do you think it's the same thing? I mean, he's
just popping in for a little bit.
Yeah, but it's a wink to I used to do this role, whereas the others they're fulfilling something within the story, and they work this in just to have nice little
right. What about Austin Powers?
Let's give what's his name an acting job for the first time in 15 years as partner. In it.
David DeLuise.
There you go. Is that
I think
that's
so.
who it is? Good for him. I can picture that guy in his heyday in the 80s. Couldn't tell you his name for the life of me.
God, I think it is David DeLuise. What about like the Austin Powers stuff with like Tom Cruise as Austin Powers, and when he did that mid vignette, and then Gwyneth Paltrow as as Heather Graham, and then Danny DeVito as evil.
Was it 3?
I think that's 3. Yeah. Is it David DeLuise? Let's go to 2000. Was it when did that come out? 2013.
21 Jump. I don't know. I would search through Channing Tatum's filmography first.
That's a good point. Shit, that's my bad.
It's either him or Jonah.
Yeah, I forget what the fuck his name was. I guess it's not David DeLuise. My bad. But he is obviously the guy from the original 21 Jump Street.
I thought it was. I thought they brought back the other dude, somebody else from the TV show to be Depp's undercover partner. And
that's what I'm saying. It was the other guy from the show. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying it wasn't.
It's Peter DeLuise. My bad. Not David DeLuise. My bad. Yeah, Peter DeLuise was the guy from 21 Jump Street. All right, y'all can stop yelling at your radios now.
No one outside of Peter DeLuise is yelling right
now. What about David Bowie and Zoolander? That was kind of funny.
That movie was a miss to me.
Okay, fair enough. Will Smith and Anchorman 2? No? Yes? No? All right.
I'm not. Yeah, it's fine. Good for you.
Good for you.
It was kind of to be expected in that scene, though. Who else are they going to bring in? Because they had cameos in the first one.
That's true.
So just in the battle scene. So unsurprisingly, there was a whole bunch of other random cameos.
Cate Blanchett was in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, she plays one of the forensics. That one's great because they put her behind goggles, a face mask, and a full body suit, so you can only hear her voice. I remember seeing it going, I know that voice. And I looked it up afterwards. I was like, you got to be kidding me. They got fucking Cate Blanchett for that? That's great. You can tell once you know it, you can see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
But it's her voice. Yeah, but she's behind. She was dating Simon Pegg before he leaves London to go out to the countryside. And she breaks up with him at a crime scene, I think. But
I'm going to see that movie again. I haven't seen it in such a long time, man. Wait, Carrie Fisher and George Lucas are in Hook? I didn't know that. Oh, they're a kissing couple who starts floating in the air after Tinkerbell sprinkles fairy dust on them. Really? Carrie Fisher and George Lucas? Interesting. All right.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I know she was a script doctor on that script.
No surprise.
Yeah. And then George's buddies with Spielberg. So it's that's surprising, but unsurprising.
Cameron Diaz and Cameron Crowe were on the train in Minority Report in a quick scene. Huh. I don't remember that at all.
No.
God damn. All right. Oh, Michael Jackson in Men in Black too.
Well, it's because he wanted the Will Smith role in the first one, and they went and asked him for a song. You can have it if I can have that role, and they're like,
nah, that's good.
You know what? We found another song that might work a little better for the scene, but we appreciate it.
Thanks, pal.
Let me get back to you on that. I'll have my people call your people. Hold on, we got to see if we can afford it.
Bruce Springsteen was in High Fidelity. I didn't remember him in that. Shit, there's a dream sequence. Okay, all right.
I don't remember that either.
And then of course Stan Lee and everything. So good stuff.
Yeah, that.
All right, I think we're good to wrap it there. Matt, thanks to everybody who sent in questions. Thanks to Bobo for that question as well, for Jay Goldeneyes and Robert Carney. Fun stuff. Yes, as you can see, we never know where it's going to take us, and it's always interesting, the questions you guys ask, and you send us down wormholes, and we have fun conversations about them. So thank you all so much for being patrons of the Top 10. Matt.
That is it for this week's show. If you want to be a part of this show or anything else we do, head over to patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10 and join us over there. You get to participate in this or Boss Hog, the live shows we do on the second and fourth Thursdays of the month. And head over there. You can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost, and the show is at Top 10 Show on Twitter and at the Top 10 Podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
You can follow me at The Roca Says on Twitter and on Instagram, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.